me see what's next. 6ix9ine posts real Boston Richey's paperwork.
Yeah, this is weird to me, right?
He said everyone had something to say. Now people don't got voices or opinions.
Yeah, this is weird to me because people were already talking about this, but I think he's talking about his contemporaries and other rappers who, for some reason, isn't really saying much on a real Boston Richey. Now, could it be that Future signed this dude, so like they have allegiance to Future and won't really like speak on Future's artist and his paperwork? I don't know, right? But
no, I just think people pick and choose.
Yeah.
Are people not speaking up about it? I've heard a lot of conversation.
I mean,
it.
Well, rappers not. Nah.
A lot of people are picking and choosing, and it makes it evident that, I don't think that 6ix9ine snitching was the thing everybody disliked about him. I think all the antics and what he did and people that he's disrespected is why people don't like him.
Of course.
So they're going to go extra harder on 6ix9ine than they will anybody else that has that type of jacket put on their name or allegations.
Well, and I've said this several times. The difference between 6ix9ine and a lot of these other people, what 6ix9ine did, 6ix9ine literally joined a hood. Now, I already know, like, I'm not saying that 9 Trey Bloods weren't already active and weren't already in a bunch of shit because they've been putting in work for a long time. No disrespect to them. But when he joined up with them, when we became under their watch or whatever, he brought a lot of negativity, a lot of additional heat, and a lot of beef to their hood and put them in compromising positions, was giving out orders, was putting money publicly on other people's heads and perpetuating that situation. And then when they all got caught up, then he winds up pointing the finger at all of them.
But still,
that's very different than what these guys did.
But still, like,
it's the same thing, man.
Snitching is snitching.
No, 1,000%.
It doesn't matter if
1,000%
somebody did 50,000 things and then they told, or if they did one thing and told. Like, it is what it is. If you told the police, you took the stand, you did that.
If you talk to the police in any capacity,
if you consider yourself a street person, if you consider yourself, part of that lifestyle, this is not for civilians. This is not for your everyday person. You're not a snitch. If you are a civilian, you're an everyday person, and you tell the police.
Like that.
If you say that you joined a gang, if you say that you joined a gang, you're perpetrating that you with the business, you're this, you that, and you tell, then you're a rat. That's just what it is, period. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Yo, now I would just say this. Now, I think it's both the same thing, but, if I just had to pick and choose, I would say what Boston Richey did is probably worse due to the fact that the nigga sold out his 2 cousins and got his 2 cousins booked. But I just want to speak on, civilians, comment section, fans of hip-hop, chastising, ostracizing, saying they aren't listening to rappers and trying to clown rappers who told. Listen, man, as civilians, we should be applauding every motherfucker who snitched. Why? Because as civilians, we live in environments that's plagued by crimes, that's like plagued by certain behaviors. And the only way to eradicate that behavior is if these niggas turn on each other and tell on each other, right? So as civilians, we should be applauding niggas like Boston Richey. But
nah,
right?
Fool.
But
that's absolutely not it.
But I can definitely understand how the street niggas, oh no, we not fucking with him. But as civilians, as people who don't commit crime, who is affected by 10%, in of our communities committing crimes, I feel like we should be applauding niggas like Boston Richey, man. Tell some more.
It's an extreme act of cowardice to try to lessen. Like, you go into a situation with other people. This is what we're doing. We're busting this move. Yeah. We have this operation. We all get caught. And then somebody tells on the other people to lessen the effect on them. That's an extreme act of cowardice.
It's definitely cowardice.
And even if you're not a street dude, to look at it from an outside lens is, there's no way to say it's not despicable.
I respect that.
Look.
You feel me? Like,
yeah. Now, look, it's definitely cowardice, right? But, I can name a lot of other actions that like people of his ilk do on a daily basis that's even more cowardice, right? So, I don't feel like cowardice should be now like the ligament bar that we use to say, okay, now like we can't fuck with these niggas no more. Not, because if it's just cowardice, I can name you 1,000 different things that these niggas do on a daily basis that we can name, okay, you's a fucking coward for this shit, right? So again, us as civilians, right? So us as civilians, again, we have no fight in this, right? Again, we don't do crimes, niggas can't snitch on us, right? the only thing that can come from snitching is more niggas like this get locked up. More niggas like this get off the streets and can't harm the streets no more. So again, if niggas like this want to tell on themselves, want to fuck themselves over, want to be cowardice and turn on each other and be a fucking Judas to each other, be a Judas. Tell each other. Tell some more, nigga, right? So my grandma can finally walk to the fucking park because you niggas is off the streets, man. Tell some more. I don't give a fuck, man.
Regardless, it's a glimpse into somebody's character. So you can't really blame people for looking at them a certain way. Because if that's the case, we should applaud people for not getting into that life to begin with. Once you commit to that life, you're signing a contract with the streets, and then you can't do that, or else you're as Tyrell would say, you're a wobbler of a person.
Here's an extreme act of cowardice that, that's done every day in the hood, right? Do see the ops with his daughter walking. They hop out on a drive-by and pop the op in front of his daughter. Dudes breaking homes and steal from the less fortunate every day again. Niggas committing licks and robberies in the hood, right? Pretty much robbing and pillaging homes that don't got shit to fucking begin with. That's cowardice to me, right? Because again, bro, like...
Yeah, but Flacco...
Yeah, but that's
right?
That's a completely different thing.
No, they're all cowards.
Flacco,
What's up?
people are a product of their environment.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they don't have the right guidance. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's absentee fathers in the home, not having good role models and stuff too. So they're looking at what they're seeing, what they're hearing, and then they're determining life and trying to figure out how to be a man. We can't sit there and call people cowards when they don't really know right from wrong at the end of the day. I know young niggas, bro, who you may think is despicable, but all they've been given is a shit in their fucking life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Like, so we have to look at things for face value at the end of the day and not just put that on, mostly what you're describing is young men that are minorities living in impoverished neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, of course.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, here, right?
Like we were afforded certain luxuries.
Of course.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like the way you grew up, you were raised to not behave in that type of way.
Yeah, of course.
You had options. You had choices.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of these people that fall into those, into that lifestyle don't.
Well, they have very few options.
Way less.
Very few choices.
Way less.
But they do have options now, right?
Way less.
But again, I definitely understand that, right? That there are people who are victims, of their surroundings, and like we should be here to help as many of those as possible, right? But I don't think that that dumb snitching or them telling should be regarded as more cowardice or worse than the daily activities that they engage in before they even get to the point where they have to snitch. Both is a cowardice. Both is despicable. So hence, I'm not gonna judge them, right, for snitching if I ain't judge their music for the activities that they brag about doing in their music, right? So again, if a nigga is bragging about selling drugs to mothers in the hood,
that's the thing, Flacco.
Yeah.
If what you're putting out, especially in music, that you're murdering, you're killing, you're street, you're this, and you're that, and then a situation happens where you tell, then it just goes against everything that you said. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a testament to your integrity, 1,000%,
100%.
So that's why people are going to look at you differently in the context of being a criminal, in the context of living the street life. If you violate that, it just shows that you don't have a moral compass as a person, as warped as it might be.
Yeah.
Like, because what you're saying is right. But these people's whole entire approach and view and just scope of life is different. You can't look at it in the same context or hold them to the same standards as you hold Josh.
Yeah. So I think in like the 80s and 90s, right, like where like hip hop was like like hip hop was embraced, was loved, and it was like probably again. You and like AD, like y'all or the hip hop historians, right? But and I would think like in the 80s and 90s.
I'm not a hip hop historian.
I think Vashti's a hip hop historian.
Yeah, me and Vashti.
I think Vashti is.
All right.
Hip hop historians know what Project Bloat is.
This is the truth.
Right now, but like in the 80s and 90s,
just fucking with you.
Right? And I think that hip hop was primarily consumed by the streets, right? Now in 2022 is like 90% of hip hop ain't never been in the streets in their life, right? So again, I can definitely understand how let's say like the streets might say, listen, bro, like if you are not living the life that we lived, do not rap about it, right? But 90% of us who don't give a damn, like, and who live with life, as long as they can, again, like, depict it as like entertaining as possible. I don't give a fuck if somebody truly pop a nigga or truly murder a nigga, right? I just want to hear who can say the best, right?
Well, wouldn't you say that like the original SoundCloud era was really the end? Like, and I'm talking about like all the Florida dudes and all that.
Yeah.
That was like the end of, it doesn't matter if you're doing what in real life, what you rap about, as long as it sounds good. I think previously to that, there like people were like, you had to, there was no suspension of disbelief. Like, you really believe Gucci Mane was doing what he said he did. You really believe that 50 Cent was doing what he said he did. But at that point, when it's like, everyone's killing everyone and all that and the biggest dope dealers, but they're just doing it for aesthetic purposes and because that's what they grew up listening to, that was when that kind of ended.
Yeah, not true, right? Man, so
let's move on, Josh.
Yeah,